What's up, good people? And welcome to Smiley G's Sports Nation. This be your boy Smiley G, the real Smiley G, and it's a beautiful, lovely afternoon here on June 6, 2024. Today's video I'm going to get into is entitled Angel Reese, A Good Villain's Point of View. But before I get into this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated with all upcoming videos. And if you're feeling generous and want to see the channel grow, please donate via Cash App to Smiley G 2006 212212. And please come in the comment section because I do want all the smoke. But with that being said, let's get into this thing.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball that you never would think when we talk about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. It's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Chicago bodies ahead, extending the lead to 5.
They go down low. Cardoso, here comes the double. Found Reese. Reese with the land.
Nice job there by Chicago to make that read on that box. It's been able to do. Angel Reese sneaking her way. Somehow found her way to the bucket.
The roster is filled with people that have reasons to have a chip on their shoulder. Dana Evans trying to get to the cup there. Angel Reese, you see her pass for New York to get stops. Chicago again, and one opportunity, Angel Reese.
The spectacular story of Angel Reese originally began on May 6, 2002 in Randallstown, Maryland, to Angel Webb and Michael Reese. Both her parents played basketball in college. Angel Webb to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and Michael Reese to Boston College and Loyola. Her parents were split up when she was young, and basically her mother raised her by herself. She learned how to play basketball from her mother at a very young age, growing up playing with her little brother Julian. She would compete in the recreational league in Baltimore County, where her mother also played. She would emerge as one of the best players in the city and had success playing above her age group and on boys' teams. She originally played point guard before having a double growth spur by her first year in high school. She was also a ballet dancer and performed in gymnastics, swimming, and running track. Reese often attended Washington Mystics games and drew inspiration from Women's National Basketball Association players like Candace Parker and Maya Moore, as well as former National Basketball Association player and Baltimore native Tyrone Muggsy Bowles. Ron James coached her with Team Takeover, an amateur athletic union program based in Washington, D.C. that competes in the Nike Elite Youth Basketball League, a national circuit. Her AAU teammates included Madison Scott, Mir McLean, and Jaquil Brown Turner, all of whom were given 5-star ratings by ESPN at the end of their high school careers. Reese attended St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, Maryland, where she was a 4-year varsity basketball player under head coach Jerome Shelton. Early in her career. She was teammates with future WNBA player Dia Clouden. Due to her size and athleticism, she could play all 5 positions and entered the starting lineup midway through the first season. As a freshman, Reese averaged 11.1 points and 11 rebounds per game, earning all Metro first team honors from the Baltimore Sun. Her team had a 30-1 record, only losing to the Hamilton Heights Christian Academy at the high school national semifinals. In her sophomore season, Reese repeated as an all-Metro first-team selection, helping St. Francis win the IAAMA Conference Championship and achieve a 24-4 record. She averaged 17.6 points, 20.1 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and 1.8 blocks per game, leading her team in all 4 categories. She was suspended early in her junior season after punching an opposing player in the face during a preseason scrimmage. No charges were filed. Reese averaged 22.6 points and 19.3 rebounds per game as a junior and was named the All-Metro Player of the Year by the Baltimore Sun after leading St. Francis to the IAAMA Conference title. That year, she led Team Takeover to the Nike EYBL Championship, posting 18 points, 11 rebounds, and a 57-47 win over the All-Iowa Attack in the final. In the beginning of 2020, Archbishop Spalding High School head coach Lisa Smith was fired from her position after her private messages on Instagram criticizing Reese's behavior were made public. Reese's mother felt that the messages included racial overtones by attributing Reese's success to being genetically gifted. Reese's number 10 jersey was retired by St. Francis, and she became the first female player to receive the honor. As a senior, she averaged 18.6 points, 10.2 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 2.5 blocks per game, winning her 4th straight IAAMA Conference Championship and helping her team finish with a 25-3 record. November of that same year, she would commit to the University of Maryland, playing there 2 seasons before transferring to Louisiana State University. She took interest in LSU after Ohio State transfer Katari Poole, whom she had known since high school, suggested they visit the school together. On May 6, 2022, LSU announced that Reese would transfer to their program. She made the decision due to her trust in head coach Kim Mulkey and desire to join the winning culture. Here, she'll be nicknamed the Bio Barbie and lead her team to the national championship game, where she'll face off against Caitlin Clark and the Iowa State Hawkeyes.
Risen to the moment all season long. It's Alexis Morris who has done that for LSU. And the national championship. Oh, nice job by Angel Reese diving in to knock it away.
Nice possession. Iowa has switched up to a zone defense. They will continue to switch their defenses all game long.
Oh, Reese able to dip it in beautifully.
This will be the game that Angel Reese will become a villain, not by choice, but by force. For she confronted Caitlin Clark for disrespecting her teammate, Alexis Morris.
And Angel Reese knows a ring is coming.
Beta.
LSU would eventually take this game 102 to 85.
In year 2 has orchestrated a turnaround for the ages. LSU has captured its very first national championship.
This is the reason why Angel Reese said she taunted Caitlin Clark.
How long were you sitting on the...
Oh, I was waiting.
How long were you sitting on the...
I tell you, I was waiting. Me?
At what point were you waiting to pull out this?
Man.
Kind of the Caitlin Clark.
Hey, Caitlin Clark is a hell of a
Incredible
player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls. South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. But y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
To the victor go the spoils.
Good job, my brother. We rocking with you.
Here is Alexis Morris, Angel Reese teammate, explaining why she felt she was disrespected by Caitlin Clark.
I didn't say Iowa played disrespectful defense. I said, to me personally, if someone was to sag off of me, then as a competitor and as someone who puts in the time and the hours and I dedicate time in perfecting my shot, then I would take that as disrespectful. So, and I had complimented Iowa. I said they have great defensive schemes. Like that was clever. That's intelligent. You should play that way. You have to play to your strengths and your weaknesses, and that's what Iowa does on defense. And I gave credit to them. They're a great team, a great coaching staff. Caitlin's a great player. She's literally changing the game. She's changing the game for us right now. Her and Angel, they're doing a great job. And I just want to make that clear, that I give respect when it's due and I give credit when it's due.
What happened? There's a lot blown up on Twitter about Angel Reese following you around, pointing to her ring finger and taunting you.
Honestly, I have no idea. I was just trying to get to the handshake line.
Reese's white folks who couldn't control their emotions by exposing themselves unintentionally were trending on X, formerly known as Twitter, saying some offensive things and giving racist overtones to Angel Reese for taunting Caitlin Clark. I showed 3 different encounters in the video shown on the screen right now. Please check them out for more details on this situation. But to sum it up in one nutshell, many whites did enjoy Angel Reese taunting
the Great White Hope,
aka Golden Child, so they let Angel hear about it, but she took it and smiled.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball that you never would think of when you talk about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. It's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Good job, my brother. We rocking with you.
The following year will begin her full year as the antagonist in the Caitlin Clark story. Alexis Morris, who was the enforcer of the LSU Tigers last year, was no longer part of the team, which was a big miss for LSU down the stretch. And to add fuel to the fire, comments from certain women players, former women players, and women reporters who thought that Caitlin Clark would receive special treatment and attention were making Angel Reese's situation worse. Here are 3 women who stated their opinions about Caitlin Clark.
So when you look at Caitlin Clark and what she's doing now, on the verge of breaking Kelsey Plum's record, obviously generational college basketball career, how do you think her game will translate to the W?
So that's a 2-part question for me. Because I say this, yes, records are made and set to be broken. But if you're going to break a record, this isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record? She probably will.
Yeah.
Because she can shoot the basketball, no doubt about it. So here's my question, or my answer to your question. How will that translate to the WNBA? So before I answer that, I'm gonna go back to something I said before when you asked me the same thing about Angel. And so what I had said was, I think Angel will eventually be a good pro. I don't think Angel will come into the league immediately and dominate the way people think she will. And I say that for people who have never watched a WNBA game. It's good. Like there's talent. Like these women can play. And because there are very few roster spots. Like it's a real job. So people look at new players coming in, whether that's out of college, players who've been overseas, and they look at that and say, oh, you trying to come take my job. Like, nah, it's not gonna be that easy. So will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay.
Not on the right team? Like one of them bottom feeding teams that
So to answer that question, Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots.
Now, Cheryl Swoops received some backlash from this because she was slick going in. Well, she got some backlash from white folks, especially because they felt like she was being racist, disingenuous, and she was inaccurate with some of the things she said about Caitlin Clark. But let's let Cheryl Swoops herself explain and respond to the backlash that she received.
Had a great conversation with Angel on the phone. Messaged with Caitlin, because I don't have her number, but I messaged with Caitlin on Twitter. She responded. She and I had a really good conversation. I'm gonna go here first because I'm gonna say the hate that like came my way was like real and real ugly. Everything from racist to nigga to bitch to monkey to you, anything you can think of. My mama used to say everything but a child of God. And so for me, when we had the discussion, I guess that was, I don't know, a few weeks ago, like it wasn't personal. It was my opinion on how I think she'll be at the next level, how I think Angel will be at the next level. But a lot of people, I guess, were upset when, I was like, well, yeah, it's her 5th year, but it's really her 4th. But to your point, they didn't listen to the whole thing because you did correct that. I'm gonna say this, and then I wanna be done with this whole conversation. So for people to come at me and say that I made those comments because I'm a racist, first of all, black people can't be racist, but that's the farthest thing from my mind. I grew up in a very small West Texas town, predominantly white. My best childhood friend is white, went to predominantly white college, won a national championship. Pretty much everyone on the team was white. We're sisters to this day. That's not a part of my DNA. But for me, it's very important though that, I'm a black woman, So it's important for me that I speak up for people that look like me. It's Black History Month.
Good job, my brother. We rocking with you.
Now, to me, I don't know if Cheryl Swoops just didn't have her facts right and just was saying things off the dome, or she was just intentionally doing it to put down Caitlin Clark like she was hating on her. But all I know is this sparked up outrage and uproar for the white folks to protect Caitlin Clark. And by protecting Caitlin Clark and thinking that people are intentionally slandering Caitlin Clark's name, this inevitably affects Angel Reese as the villain to Caitlin Clark. But let's go into the next person who has something to say about Caitlin Clark.
Alexi, you're our resident expert on all things WNBA. What do you think about Ice Cube and the Big Three offering Caitlin Clark $5 million to play in their league?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. But the first one is that TMZ, they put out the statement that he was going to give the contract to Caitlin Clark. But if you open the article and you see what he said was his reasoning, he wanted to provide more opportunities for WNBA players and provide opportunities to not go overseas. So you offered the contract to a player who's not yet even in the WNBA. Big Three does not happen during overseas season, so that doesn't make sense.
That's true.
And then you pretty much offended all of the European countries that open their doors to us, give us a lot of money, a lot of love, and a lot of experience by calling them dismal and dubious. And there are some very beautiful countries that we have the opportunity to go play in. So, I mean, if you're gonna say that it's for that, then stand on that. But I don't think it's, I think he's trying to make a business decision, which he's a businessman, that makes sense. But to mask it in this, I wanna uplift and support WNBA players and women athletes is kind of a cop-out, I think, and I don't think it really makes any sense. For us to get just constantly shit on, you can't even acknowledge the growth and how amazing the WNBA is doing because shit like this happens. You didn't even have to bring up the W. If you're gonna say that it's for that, then stand on that. But I don't think it's, I think he's trying to make a business decision, which he's a businessman, that makes sense. But to mask it in this, I wanna uplift and support WNBA players and women athletes is kind of a cop-out, I think, and I don't think it really makes any sense.
Beta girl!
Now, that was Lexi Brown, ladies and gentlemen, giving her take on Ice Cube offering Caitlin Clark a contract to play for his league called the Big Three. Now, Lexi Brown feel like she was getting shitted on because Ice Cube have never offered a WNBA player a contract that big before. And he said that he was trying to help the WNBA. But Lexi Brown was like, well, Caitlin Clark is not even in the WNBA yet. And then she was like, well, Ice Cube said that he didn't want the women going overseas, but then the Big Three league is not played during the season of overseas. So basically, she felt like he was being disingenuous and just wanted to make money. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, Ice Cube noted Caitlin Clark is box office. She is box office, ladies and gentlemen. And people are trying to get their money while she's still hot. And despite of what Lexi Brown feel, any smart businessman would take on the chance to get some money off of Caitlin Clark because she's a high commodity right now, ladies and gentlemen. And again, inevitably, by Lexi Brown making these comments that was negative to Caitlin Clark, white folks started to get more agitated and started to get more on Caitlin Clark's side, who is the protagonist. She is the protagonist, ladies and gentlemen. Inevitably making it worse for Angel Reese, the antagonist. But let's get to the next person.
That the criticism is often very one-sided. Caitlin Clark talks her shit. Caitlin Clark is demonstrative. Caitlin Clark, people aren't bothered by that. People aren't bothered by it because they're caught up in the narrative of, oh, here's this, wonderful, kind soul from the great state of Iowa representing middle America. So they put all these sort of, what happens in these sports race wars is everybody projects their own shit on the people.
Beta girl!
Now, I want to backtrack just a little bit and talk about what Sheryl Swoop said and the reason why the white folks were so upset about what she said. Because she said three things that were untrue. First, she said that she was 25. And if you can see here, Caitlin Clark during this time was 22 years old. Then she said that she played 5 years instead of 4. But it was a 4th year, the year that was mentioned. And I think that the host kind of explained that. Then the last thing that was said was that she took 40 shots a game. Where if you look up here, it shows that she only takes close to 20 shots a game. So there was 3 inaccuracies in her statement. So the media took that and ran with it. White folks thought she was being a racist and hating on Caitlin Clark. And that's that. But to continue to what I'm saying with Jemele Hill, I kind of agree with Jemele Hill when she said that Caitlin Clark is demonstrative because she's a slick, dirty player, if you want to say. But media don't highlight those things, but I will get into that later. But this is one of the things that I see that a lot of folks are doing. They're bringing up the race card. For anything that happens, it's strictly racist, it's strictly discrimination. And I'm not saying that sometimes that's what it is, but I don't think that it's all the time. As a matter of fact, I don't even think majority of the time that's what it is, in my opinion, because I think majority of white racism now is basically blind racism. And if they do it, I don't think they're intentionally doing it. They're just so privileged that they don't even realize they're doing it. And even if they are racist, I'm pretty sure they don't want to be racist in the public. So they do things blindly because they don't know quite what racist is in the sense. Because they're so white privileged and so privileged that they don't realize that certain things they do is racist. That's what I think that. But anyway, with the black folks, what they say, Jemele Hill in particular, she's saying it's a racist. Caitlin Clark basically getting attention because of racism, which I'm not going to say that it's not partially that, but I think it's her entertainment as well. So just because Jemele Hill said that, this is sparking an uproar. And again, Angel Reese is in the crossfire because she's the main antagonist to the Caitlin Clark story. And she's the antagonist by force, not by choice. The media dubbed her the villain. She proclaimed it, yes, but after the media had already dubbed her the villain from the top. They praised Caitlin Clark and labeled her the villain because she taunted Caitlin Clark, and they didn't like it. This is
the Great White Hope.
And them white folk didn't like that their Great White Hope was getting taunted, even though the Great White Hope was taunting people first and disrespected them. I mean, check these clips out. Huh? I said, huh? This is the Great White Hope doing a you can't see me taunt to people? I mean, let's check this next one out.
Basketball. Watch Caitlin Clark, left side. She doesn't even look at her.
I know this ain't poor old Caitlin Clark doing this. Let's check that out again. Is he waving a player off? That's what a poor old Caitlin Clark doing? Yet we're talking about Angel Reese and all these other players and how they are. Come on, media. Y'all got to do better than this now. I understand. That's the Great White Hope. And she's somewhat being hard on and all that. But Caitlin Clark is not an angel. But let's keep going. Later on that season, Angel Reese led her LSU Tigers to the NCAA Women's Tournament. And then basically they faced the Iowa Hawkeyes again, but this time in the Elite 8 game.
Balance, getting threes from the perimeter and then opportunities for threes in the paint.
who drew 2 offensive fouls on Clark in last year's national championship game.
She has more size and length.
Clark, you bet.
And Angel Reese will foul out of this game in the third quarter with a questionable call.
Koa comes up with a steal. Here's Reese. Reese leans in, and that's a charge. And number 5 on Angel.
Eventually, the Iowa Hawkeyes will take this game 94-87, and Angel Reese will have to sit on the sideline and watch as her team lose as the defending champions. This is what Angel Reese had to say after the game at the press conference.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm gonna always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, no, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are, keep waking up every day, keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
Now, she basically explained that she was sexualized, got death threats ever since she won the national title, and had beat Caitlin Clark, and had basically did the taunting to Caitlin Clark because Caitlin Clark was basically doing the same thing to other people. But nobody came to her aid. Nobody came to her defense. And basically everybody would say, well, she became the villain. You can't then become the villain and now you want to be the victim. Well, remember, she became the villain by force and not by choice. And so even though she self-proclaimed herself to be the villain, it came because they had already made her the villain before she even proclaimed to be the villain. So she didn't have a choice in the matter. But let's keep going.
With the 7th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Chicago Sky select Angel Reese.
Angel would team up with SEC rival and Camila Cardoso, who was drafted number 3 in the same draft. Camila had led her team to that year's NCAA title game against Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Camila and her team, the South Carolina Gamecocks, would come out victorious. But in a future game against Caitlin Clark, drafted number 1 by the Indiana Fever, there were some tough plays that the media dubbed excessive and uncalled for. Again, people made it seem like Caitlin was being maltreated because other WNBA players were jealous of Caitlin Clark. Here are some plays that were used by the media.
At least by our account. This
fatality.
I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it
fatality
unnecessary? Kennedy.
Yes, they seemed like they were hard on Caitlin Clark. Let's get into some things that people said to the situation of Caitlin Clark being fouled like that.
That should be celebrated, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said. Just go have fun, enjoy. people need to realize the Indiana Fever, this is the second year in a row they had the number 1 pick. So do y'all know what that means? That means they're not that good. They had back-to-back years as the number 1 pick.
Why are you a hater on the Fever, man?
I am a realist. Because not only I get people are just crazy about why she should be doing this and they should be doing that. If she's so great, this team, it's still a team game, people. It is still a team game, and but I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills. I hope Aaliyah Boston does amazing. I hope they do great. I'm just kind of in this mode right now because I'm getting the same, thing from watching my son, who's a 19-year-old, kind of getting a lot of animosity and hatred towards him when he's just a kid trying to live out his dream. There's a very small number of men and women that actually get to live out their dream of playing a professional sport. And we have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes. Listen, what she's accomplished, give her her flowers. Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all ass charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table, but y'all being petty like dudes. LeBron, you are 100% right. Y'all girls, stop being petty. Caitlin Clark, thank you for bringing all that money and shine to the WNBA.
Well, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Now, Dr. Umar Johnson defended Angel Reese and had something to say about these, what he called, coons.
They're trying to push a narrative that says Caitlin Clark isn't able to maximize her talents on the court because she's being bullied by these much larger black women. Basketball is a competitive sport. You play to compete. That is the nature of athletics. So shaming and blaming black women for competing against Caitlin Clark when you all took it upon yourselves to exaggerate her skill set simply isn't fair. I hear Charles Snow Bunny Barkley, and then we come to LeBron Buck Dancing James, and then Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp, and let me not forget Emmanuel Ocho, my Nigerian brother who has a tendency to coon out every once in a while. And the rest of these Negropeans calling black women of the WNBA jealous. This started 2 years ago when Angel Reese beat Iowa, and America has not forgiven her for that.
Now, Dr. Umar Johnson was cooking, although I disagree with one thing he said, and he said that they're not jealous. I got to call cap on that. I'm not saying all of them are jealous, but some of them are. You have some of those women are jealous because if they weren't jealous, they wouldn't be making an issue or saying certain things to talk about Caitlin Clark if they're not jealous. So if you're not jealous about something, then you shouldn't be speaking on it. But again, the media has pictured like Caitlin Clark is getting abused. And at first, they got me. I'm thinking like, yeah, they bullying on her. But then I did a little bit more research and come to find out the real reason why Kennedy Carter had fouled her. Let's check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is the play before the Kennedy Carter play. You see what you're doing? Let's check that out again, slower. This is the golden child. Look at that, it's an elbow to the face. And then she's taunting Kennedy Carter. Wow. How did I miss that? Now this is what ended up happening after the fact.
Fatality.
I mean, that's clear.
And then like, what's he doing me like that?
The question is,
Fatality.
unnecessary. Kennedy.
And then Angel Reese is cheering her teammate on. That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. So Caitlin Clark is no angel. Caitlin Clark is slick dirty. And so when you retaliate to her, she asked the media to back her up. But this is what Caitlin Clark and Kennedy Carter had to say after the game.
That's just not a basketball play, but, got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just like, just respond, come down, let your play do the talking in the game. Go make the free throw and then execute on offense. And I feel like that's kind of what we did, but, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
Amazing.
After the people
I ain't
score,
answering that questions.
did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
Beta girl! Now, you see what Caitlin Clark did, right? She acted like saying that wasn't a basketball move, but yet you did a non-basketball move the play before that. You had nothing to say about that. Throwing elbows. But the media ate it up. Oh, our savior is being hurt. Our great white hope is being hurt. We got to protect our great white hope. We can't let them do them to our great white hope. But let me show you something that happened to somebody else. But the media was cricket. The media was quiet when it happened to this person. Let's get into it.
Evans, quick drive, couldn't get the roll. More contact in the paint as Reese hits the deck again. And now they're going to review the last sequence. We're going to have a look at it here. Remember, this is after she went down initially. That was the first time she went down. And wasn't able to get back into the play defensively. Then the arm.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Crickets. Media didn't have nothing to say about that. But this is what Bob Costas said about the situation.
Earlier point, there was an incident recently. Alyssa Thomas, who happens to be African American, grabbed Angel Reese by the throat and threw her to the floor. Flagrant 2, ejected from the game. The reason why that doesn't spark as much conversation isn't just that Caitlin Clark is a bigger star than Alyssa Thomas. It's because it's a black-on-black incident, and you don't have that dynamic that people can comment on, yes, but also exaggerate and make the entire story sometimes.
Good job, my brother. We rocking with you.
Beta.
In closing, Angel Reese became the villain by force and not by choice. You see, white America and some black Americans want us to believe that Caitlin Clark is being mistreated and that she doesn't deserve what is happening to her. Although I do believe that her teammates should stick up for her regardless if she's in the wrong or right. But that's neither here nor there. And though some of the treatment that she received is not warranted, some of it is warranted. Because some people can't control their emotions and don't do good research before making statements about people. I mean, again, when Caitlin Clark gets fouled, it's World War III. When Angel Reese gets fouled, oh, it's nothing. It's just a black-on-black crime. That's how they do it. No, we ain't going with that shit. Keep the same ending for everybody. And then y'all act like
the Great White Hope
can't do no wrong. And y'all turn y'all head and act like y'all don't see what the Great White Hope is doing. But I will say this, Caitlin Clark is the reason the WNBA is flourishing and why attendance is up and all that. But Angel Reese is the sacrifice that made Caitlin the person she is. I mean, majority of America didn't know who Caitlin Clark was before she was in the media depicted as a victim, while Angel Reese was the suspect. They did their best to pay Angel back by downing her and raising Caitlin because they wanted that great white hope to be the hero, and by Angel disrespecting her, regardless of if it was warranted or not, Angel became the villain. But Angel is doing things to change the WNBA as well. She suggested that the WNBA be looked at in a more feminine light instead of in a masculine light. In my opinion, I think that's a good idea because men don't want to see a woman act like a man. They want to see a woman act like a woman. She accepted whatever the media or Caitlin Clark fans had to dish out to her. She's not asking for a handout. She's just asking for fairness. And that she will never get that because the majority of Americans has already picked their savior. And just because she decided to stand up for women who Caitlin Clark had disrespected beforehand and dish out the same energy that Caitlin did, she was villainized for it. That is why I call Angel Reese a good villain, because she accepted what the American labeled her and embraced it. This is Angel Reese, a good villain's point of view. Again, please like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated on all future videos. And please comment in the comment section because I do want all the smoke. And with that I say, peace to you brothers and sisters. I'm out.